Okay, you know the feeling. You've got a flash drive, you look at your laptop, and you wonder, did I just pick the fastest port or the slowest one? Well, today we're decoding that rainbow of colors you see on all your USB ports. It is a secret code, hidden in plain sight, and trust me, understanding it is going to save you a surprising amount of time. Right? You've seen them. You've got this mix of black and blue and maybe even red ports all sitting right next to each other. So is that just for looks, or is there some kind of hidden system going on? Well, I'm here to tell you there absolutely is. And by the end of this, you're going to know exactly which port to use every single time. And believe me, it really, really matters. I mean, choosing the wrong port can be the difference between watching that file transfer progress bar just crawl across your screen for what feels like an eternity versus getting that same exact job done in just a few minutes. It is all about efficiency. So it all really starts with speed. The biggest, most fundamental difference between all these colors is simply how fast they can move your data from point A to point B. This is the foundation of the whole color coding system, so let's break it down. First up, we've got the dinosaur of the group, the white USB port. This is old school USB 1.x tech, all the way from 1996. We're talking just 12 megabits per second. By today's standards, that is painfully slow. You'd be lucky to find these on anything but a museum piece. All right, next up is the port that basically became the standard for over a decade, the good old black USB 2.0 port. Now, this was a huge leap forward. It was marketed as high speed, and it hit a rate of 480 megabits per second. It's that reliable workhorse you still see pretty much everywhere. So what are these black ports really good for today? Well, while they might be too slow for a big external hard drive, they are absolutely perfect for things like your mouse, your keyboard, or a printer, devices that just don't need a lot of bandwidth. And here's a little pro tip for you. Plug all your slow stuff into these black ports. That way, you save the faster ones for when you really need the speed. Okay, now we get to the big jump, the blue port. This is USB 3.0, also known as super speed, and it clocks in at 5,000 megabits per second. That's 5 gigabits. This wasn't just a small improvement, this was a total revolution in data transfer. I mean, just look at this chart. It's not even a close race. The blue USB 3.0 port is more than 10 times faster than the black USB 2.0 port. To put that into perspective for you, a big 10 gigabyte file that might take about 3 minutes to transfer on a black port, it takes less than 20 seconds on a blue one. This is the port you should always be looking for. And if you thought blue was fast, meet teal. The teal port means you're looking at USB 3.1 or Super Speed Plus. It doubles the speed again to a staggering 10 gigabits per second. You can basically think of these as blue ports on steroids, designed for the most demanding things you can do, like working with those ultra-fast external SSDs. Now, not all the colors are just about speed. Some of them signal a really unique power feature, the ability to keep working even when your computer's taking a nap. So let's look at what we call the always-on ports. It's a feature called sleep and charge, and it solves a super common problem. Normally, when you put your laptop to sleep, it cuts the power to the USB ports. But these special ports, they stay active, so you can plug your phone in, close your laptop, and wake up to a completely full battery. And using it is incredibly simple. You just have to find one of these warm-colored ports, so yellow, red, or orange. Plug in your device, put your computer to sleep, or heck, even shut it down completely, and the power just keeps flowing. It is an absolute lifesaver when you're running low on wall outlets. So the main thing to know is that while all these warm colors, red, yellow, orange, give you that sleep and charge feature, red is often the premium version. It usually pairs that feature with the fastest data speeds. But honestly, regardless of the shade, they all typically provide more power, which just means a faster charge for your phone. Okay, now for the fun part, the rule breakers. Because just when you think you've got the whole system figured out, some companies come along and use colors to signal their own special tech, completely outside of the official standards. You know, take the color green, for example. It can mean two totally different things. If you see a green port on a wall charger, that often means it's got Qualcomm Quick Charge, a special tech for fast-charging Android phones. But if you see it on a Razer laptop, their acid green color is purely for branding. It's usually just a standard blue USB 3.0 port in disguise. And then you've got purple. Now, this one is very specific. If you see a purple USB port or a purple cable, it's almost certainly connected to Huawei's supercharged technology. These are engineered to handle a much higher current, and if you try using a different color cable, you'll end up with a much slower charge. Of course, we have to talk about the elephant in the room, USB-C. That modern reversible connector we're seeing on everything now. But here's the most important thing to get. USB-C is just the shape of the plug. It tells you absolutely nothing about the speed. A USB-C port can be incredibly fast, or it can be as slow as one of those old black ports. So how in the world do you tell them apart? Well, the color system pretty much goes out the window. Instead, you have to become a bit of a detective and look for these tiny little logos printed right next to the port. These little symbols, they're the new code. For example, if you see a lightning bolt symbol, that means you've hit the jackpot. You've got a Thunderbolt port, capable of these mind-bending speeds, up to 40 gigabits per second. Or if you see a logo with SS10 next to it, that tells you it's a super speed 10 gigabit port, basically the same as those teal ports we saw earlier. I know that was a lot of information to throw at you, so let's just boil it all down to a super simple cheat sheet that you can actually use every day. Here it is. This is pretty much everything you need to know. Black is for the slow stuff, like your keyboard. Blue is your go-to for any fast file transfers. Teal is for that pro-level, blazing speed. And anything with a warm color, yellow or red, that's your secret weapon for charging your phone even when your computer's asleep. See? It's that simple. And look, if you only take away one single thing from all of this, please make it the blue rule. When you're moving files and you're not sure which port to pick, just always look for the blue one. It is your best bet for solid, fast performance every single time. And, this kind of brings us to a final thought. As pretty much everything moves towards that universal USB-C shape, are we actually witnessing the end of this colorful system? As ports start to rely more on tiny little logos instead of bright colors, is it possible the USB Rainbow will eventually just fade away? It's something to think about the next time you plug something in. Thanks for joining me.